Hi, Randy.
Hi, Kathy.
So what are we going to do today?
Well, we're going to make a tutorial video on how to use Running Map.
Sounds good. How do we get started?
Okay, let's assume that I have a running route and I want to determine what the distance is. So I'm going to enter in the address of the location that I run in. So I'll just put in the city, Edmonton, Alberta, in the province, and I'll click the button. And then it loads a map of the city.
I like to run by the river valley. Can you move us over there?
Sure, you can navigate just simply by clicking and dragging on the map, and it'll navigate to so you have to just navigate to where you run.
Somewhere in there.
Okay, by the Grote Road.
I like to see it in pictures better.
Okay, so let's click to map settings and then click to satellite view, and then you can see a satellite view of the area instead of the map view. And on the top right here I'm going to click zoom so I can zoom in to the area that I like to run. So let's say I'm going to start on a trail that's right here, and I'm going to click along that trail, and you can see it's just adding points, and it's determining distance of each point and adding it up.
So what happens if I make a mistake and go off my route?
So if you make a mistake, there's some tools to help you out here. If you click to current route, it'll show a bunch of tools here, one of which is undo last route point. And you can actually keep clicking it and undo your whole route all the way back to the beginning if you like. Or you could just remove all the points and just start over. And so that's what I'll do. So I will click along the route. Now let's say you have a stray point that you want to adjust. You can actually just click and drag on the point itself. Simple as that. And you can do that with any point. It's quite easy.
It's cool.
So let's say you are creating a route and you want to share it with others and you want to describe it a little bit. So I'll create something I call a point of interest. So click on the point of interest marker, and it creates this pin cursor, and then you just click where you want it to go, and this little speech bubble comes up. You just type in the description here. I'll say this is where the bathrooms are.
The most important part of any route.
Did I spell that right? Oh, it looks like it. You can also change the pin color just by clicking one of these colors. Now you can either have it always visible, or you can click this button and have it just visible when you mouse over like that. Or I can click the head and it makes it visible permanently again. Now let's say you're running and you take a nice picture of an area. You can add what I call photo point of interests by clicking this button on the left that says add a photo to the map. Up comes this dialog, and you can either enter your image as a URL, so that means your photo already exists somewhere on the web, or you can enter in a picture from your Flickr account. And I'll just demonstrate using my account, so I'm going to put in my username for my Flickr account. Click search. Now it's going to search for all public photos in my Flickr account, and I get a list of them here on the side. So I'm going to scroll through this and pick one that seems appropriate, and I will then click save, and it gives me a cursor again of a camera that I click, and then it puts that photo onto the map. Now I can adjust the position of this photo anywhere I want, and just like the point of interest marker, you can close it so that it only appears on a mouse over. So then that makes it less cluttered. But again, you can toggle that so it just stays open by clicking on the camera.
That's pretty good. So what can I do with my route after this?
So yeah, you put all this work into creating this route, you want to save it. So there's a save button here. And and it asks you a few basic details like location. I'm going to put Edmonton, and description, River Valley Run, and then tags are just sort of one-word descriptors that make it easy to search against, like keywords, I guess you'd say. So river, easy, they could be for you or for others.
So why is the public-private section grayed out?
Well, by default, it's grayed out. By default, your route that you save will be publicly accessible unless you have a user account and you sign in which case you can toggle that on or off. So let's try that. So I'm going to close this. I'm not going to save it. And I'm going to click sign in. So if you don't have a user account, you can click the register as new user and you get this other window that you can put in your information and then click register. But I'm already registered, so I'm going to close that and I'm going to type my username and my password. And I will also click remember me so that next time it'll log me in automatically, and I click login. And so now it says here on the top right, you're currently signed in as Randy. Now when I save current route, and I type in my information, I have the option of making it public and private. So I'm going to click private, and I'm going to click save, and I'll click close.
So how do I find that route again once I come back?
So on the left here, if you click the My Account tab, you'll see that there is a button now for Show My Routes. So when I click that, it will show all the routes that I've saved. And on the bottom here is the one that I just saved here. And if I click here, you can see that on the top right here that it is in fact a private route.
That's great. If I'm looking for suggestions, though, for other routes I might want to run, what could I do?
Well, you can actually search against other people's routes. And again, we'll go to this tab here, the search tab, click there, and you'll see a text entry box that you can search keywords for. And these will be public routes, so it won't show private routes. But
let's be ambitious. Let's pick the Boston Marathon.
Okay. Boston Marathon. So I'm going to enter that in here. And someone is bound to have created that route and saved it. So let's search for it, see if it's there. And I did get some results here. So I'm going to pick this one. So I'm going to select it. And then you can either load it by clicking this Load Selected Route, or you can double click it. It'll load the route. And here we are in map view, and I'm going to zoom out so I can see more of the route. And there it is. That's the route that this person saved, called Boston Marathon.
That doesn't look so bad.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at the elevation profile. One feature of Running Map is that it, with each click, calculates the elevation of that point that you created. So here you can see that the elevation, there's a fairly significant elevation change throughout this route. And you know, after it all, it is 42 kilometers.
Can you show me the point where that big hill is?
Sure. So if you mouse over the elevation graph, you will see that the points will highlight in the route itself, and you can actually click on a point and it will center to that point, so you can find out where certain sort of valleys or hills are.
I don't think I'm ready for Boston, but that river run looks pretty good.
Yeah, well, see, if you use Running Map and get training, I think maybe you can qualify for Boston Marathon real soon.
Thanks, Randy.
Thanks, Kathy.